Hello and... What sounds scare you? Hello and welcome to Out of the Question, the family-friendly video series where I ask you, the viewers, questions, and you, the viewers, get to ask me questions too. I'm not typically a Halloween person, but I do understand why people like it. Getting to dress up is something that I highly enjoy. Having adrenaline rushing through me is a pretty fun thing, and you can get that by watching a scary movie. And then it's also really fun to, hear something that makes you just go, ugh, and shiver all the way down.
Awesome. Do it again.
In this week's episode, I talk about the 5 scariest sounds that I know. Number 1. Hail. Alright, whenever I was really young, we were in my mom's Xterra, and then it started pouring down rain, super scary hard, with hail. Alright, so you just had this couldn't see more than 5 feet in front of the car, so it's like, oh my gosh, we're going to crash and die. And then the hail was just like, you know, it's heavy and it's hard and it makes the worst sound when hitting metal. Alright, it's not a fun sound, and I was super young and scared of everything at that age. So that experience scarred me for much longer than it should have. I mean, it was so bad that, in Disney World, you know that, Cafe Tropicana thing, whatever it's called, I couldn't eat there because the thunder sound effect would play, and I would be brought right back to that car, and I would be terrified. I would be like, we're all gonna die in this restaurant. There's lightning and thunder in here. It's gonna start hailing really bad. We're all gonna die. I'm glad that we live in Louisiana, because the atmosphere here is not very conducive to things like hail or snow, which is kind of sad on the snow part, but not so sad on the hail part, because hail's not fun. I don't like it. Number 2. Now that audio clip by itself isn't necessarily scary. It's more like anxiety-inducing. But the reason why it's scary is because in any Sonic the Hedgehog game, whenever you are trapped underwater, that will start playing in the background before you start to drown and die. Alright? And you'll be underwater, and you'll be panicking because you don't see any air bubbles, and you don't know which way is up or down, and you're just trying to run through and get back out because, oh my gosh, it's getting faster and louder! Ah! So yeah, this comes from a game where you're playing as a blue hedgehog with red sneakers attacking a man who is in the shape of an egg. That's literally the game, okay? It's not supposed to be scary or stressful. It's supposed to be really fun and high speed. But no, you get stuck underwater, you get this song that just, your heart starts racing with it, and you start getting super terrified and just are trying to find a way out of the water. Bad composition, but good composition, because if you're trying to scare somebody, then it does scare them, so I don't know. I don't like it. But it works. You know what I mean? Yeah. Number 3. I fear no creature, but that thing, it scares me. Any gamer who has ever played Half-Life just jumped right there with me, because that sound came from Headcrabs. Alright? The game isn't really scary. It has jump scares in it, but nothing in the game's really that terrifying. But Headcrabs are awful! I hate them! They're small, and then they just jump at you after making that horrible noise, and it's just you never know where they're gonna come from. It could be behind you, it could be to your left, to your right, it could be directly in front of you. You hear that noise, you start panicking because you know that all of a sudden something's just gonna go and hit you, and you're gonna start losing health fast, because they typically hoard as well, so there's not just a single one coming after you, it's like 5. Ugh! They jump scare so well, you could be looking straight at it, and you'll still jump whenever it makes that noise. Just because of how well conditioned you are to jump whenever they do anything. Oh, whenever you're playing Half-Life 2 and they have the poison ones, alright? The poison ones. They make an even worse sound than the regular headcrabs, and whenever they make contact with you, your health immediately drops to 1, so you start going into panic mode, and you're just like, everywhere, because you don't want to die. You made it too far to die. Ugh. No, okay? Stop! I can't handle that noise, okay? We're going to the next one now, okay? We're going to the next one. We're done. We're done here. Number 4. Now, Minecraft is not a scary game. It is very much aimed at children, although most anybody I think could have a lot of fun with it just because of how it works. It's a very simple game. Whenever it just came out and was a new game and everyone was excited for it, it only had 2 songs, and the song that just gives me the chills every time I hear it is called 13. That's it. I know that it is supposed to be a lullaby sound, and that it's supposed to be very calming and peaceful, but it's not. It's quite terrifying, actually. It's just like, it's really high-pitched, and the melody just keeps playing over and over again. It makes you feel isolated, alone, scared, and you don't know why. I mean, your body registers sound in 2 ways. It goes through the ears, alright, and that's where the actual sound comes from, and then your body also just can feel sound waves in a very small amount. So whatever that song does, it like makes your skin feel wrong when you're listening to it, and then it just sounds really high and unnatural in your ears. And it's not conducive to a happy environment, which is typically associated with Minecraft, and like it creating elaborate things that I'll never understand or have the patience to do, you know? But that one song, just ugh, not right. It's nasty. Number 5. Forget anything else I just put on this list, because this one thing truly and truly terrifies me, and I have to live with it constantly. I would take all the other sounds combined and listen to them on repeat, rather than hear this one single noise ever again. And that noise is the click of my camera shutting off. That is terrifying. Every time I sit down to record something for you guys, it's in the back of my head. Will my camera shut off this time? Because I can't keep track of its battery life from over here. So I'm just here waiting for the camera to just go and die. And whenever it dies, it actually loses some of the recording that it had, so you could possibly have lost 1 to like 5 minutes of footage. So you've then got to take the SD card out, stick it into your computer, watch to figure out where it stopped recording so that you could start back from there, or you can just guesstimate where it is and possibly have an incomplete episode. And then you have to put the battery on charge for like an hour, so then the rest of the day's schedule is thrown into chaos, and it's just not fun, it's stressful, and I'm terrified that it's going to happen, and ugh, I hate it. I hate it so much. So much. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this episode, because I had to listen on average to 5 tracks for each of those to make sure I was getting the best quality, okay? So, like, I have to do this stuff for you. So, if you could, you know, just maybe, if you were feeling it, if you could tell me what the 5 scariest things that you have ever heard are, you know, just down in the comments below. I would love that. I'm going to feature it in next week's episode. And if you could, you know, like, hit that subscribe button, because I stress out a lot for you guys, you know? I work hard for you. So if you could just hit the subscribe button and maybe the little bell icon, that would be pretty cool, you know? And if you could come back next week, you know, hit the little bell icon, get notified whenever the next week's video comes up, it'd be pretty cool to see you there too. So yeah, if you, why don't you do that, and we'll see you next week. Bye.